Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well, and today I've got the fourth and final set of the new playtest cards for my new Collided Worlds trading card game that I'm working on. I know it's been a while since I've shown one of these, and I've actually finished these a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't really shown them off until now, so I thought I'd get started on that right now. Starting off, I've got the action cards, and the first one is Sinister Plot. If you're familiar with the Make Your Own card game, which is another card game I've made, you're probably familiar with this card. It's a simple 2-cost action card that discards a random card from your opponent's hand. Pretty simple and disruptive. Next is Critical Blade, a 3-cost action card that states that when your opponent declares a blocking unit, you can just knock it out. It's pretty nice. If your opponent ends up having a blocker, you can just take it out and get him for some damage. It's pretty nice. Next is Erase, a 5-cost action that simply removes target unit from the game. It doesn't trigger any effects that would trigger upon being knocked down. It just makes them gone from the game. They don't go to the discard pile and they're just out of there. It's pretty nice, despite being expensive. Next is Scheming. 2-cost action. You get to look at the bottom 3 cards of your deck, then you choose one of them, shuffle your deck, and put that card on top. So it's another way of getting cards that you need into your, or drawing the cards sooner. Next is Pox Coercion. It's another way to stop your opponent from blocking. It simply prevents a unit your opponent controls from blocking until the end of the turn. So if your opponent only has one unit, you can just play this and that unit cannot block. It's a great way to push him for some damage against your opponent. Next is Dark Provide, a 3-cost action card that allows you to discard a card, and then another unit you control gets plus 500 CP until the end of the turn. You'll notice with a lot of these green cards, they'll have a lot of synergies with discarding cards, whether putting cards in the discard pile or playing cards from the discard pile. You'll see as we go along. A lot of synergies there. Next is Druru's Avarice, and a 4-cost action card that states you discard a card, then you draw 3 cards. So it's another way of drawing, but you do have to discard something from your hand first. Then there's Mutual Destruction, a 3-cost action card that states each player chooses a unit they control and knock out both units. So you would choose one of your own units, then your opponent would choose one of their units, and those would be knocked out. It's a pretty simple card. And then I got the final action card. It's Kuma's Choice. It's a 5-cost action card, which states that your opponent chooses one of these 3 options. Either they discard 2 cards from their hand, they take a unit they control and put it into their discard pile, or as it states here, they trash a unit they control simply, or they trash the top 3 cards of their deck. So a lot of pretty devastating options for your opponent, so definitely a card to watch out for in a game. And next we move on to the units. First off is the Nightshade archetype with the Nightshade Spider, which gives 4 action points when played, has 300 CP, backup plus 100, and it has the critical ability, which is the exclusive ability for green, which states that any damage this does to a unit is enough to knock it out. Pretty good at attacking into your opponent's units and taking them out. Next is Shadow Minion. It gives you 4 action points, 100 CP, backup plus 200, which is nice. And then when this unit is knocked out by battle, you get to draw a card. So that's pretty nice. Next is Nightshade Wolf, which gives 2 action points, 500 CP, backup plus 100. When you play him, you get to take any green card from your discard pile and put it into your hand. So it's a pretty nice bit of recovery. If you get a lot of cards in your discard pile, this can help you get one of them back. Next is Nightshade Hawk, which gives 3 action points, 400 combat power, backup plus 100. And this unit is able to attack into evasive units, so this is a great way if your opponent has a lot of evasive units on their field. This can help you attack into those. Next, there's Druru, the final of the Nightshade units. He's a villain. He gives 2 action points, 500 CP, backup plus 100, and it gives all your other Nightshades you control critical. So it makes all your other Nightshades into powerful attackers, which is pretty nice. And kind of another combo that's pretty nifty too is that Shadow Minion here is also a Nightshade, so if you have Drew in play as well, you can have Shadow Minion attack into another one of your opponent's units, and that would count as being knocked out by battle, so you would get to draw a card and also take out one of your opponent's units at the same time. It's pretty incredible. Next is Pak Minion, who is a minion. He gives plus 4 action points, 300 CP, backup plus 100. No abilities, but he's a pretty basic unit. Pak's Assistant gives 3 action points, 300 CP, and she has an action ability where you discard a card, then you draw a card. So this can help you filter out cards from your deck and get stuff that's a bit more useful. Pak Thug, which gives 2 action points, 700 CP, so it's pretty powerful, and it has the downside of being unable to block, but it's a pretty good attacker. Next is Pak Ninja, gives 3 action points, 300 CP, and if you control 3 or more minion units, this unit cannot be blocked. So if you have a couple of other minions on your board, this can turn into a pretty dangerous threat. Next, there's Doc Pak. He gives 1 action point, 800 CP, and he has an action ability that states you discard a card, and then a minion unit you control gets plus 500 CP and rush until end of turn, which is pretty powerful. You can imagine how useful that would be with a guy like Pak Thug here. Getting into attack with a card like that's pretty scary. Next is Little Ghost. He has the same stats as the Pak Minion I showed off earlier, except he has backup plus 200s, but no abilities, but still, he's a different kind of type. He's a spirit, as you can see. Next is Kyle, who also has the critical ability. He gives plus 2 action points, and he has 400 CP. He's also a psychic, so he works with some of the other psychics that are in blue and that are in the blue color and stuff like that. Next is Subaru, who's also a psychic, gives 2 action points, 500 CP, backup plus 100. When you play him, you get to look at the top card of your deck, and then you get to choose to either discard it or leave it on top. So it's another way of manipulating your top deck or getting cards into your discard pile. It's pretty nice. Delta Warrior Misfortune gives 2 action points, 500 CP, backup plus 100. Her auto ability is pretty useful. Act abilities your opponent's units cost an extra action point to activate. So when your opponent uses an activated ability, such as the one on Doc Pak here, they'd have to pay an additional 1 action point. And I haven't quite decided yet whether having multiple copies would make it stack. Maybe that could be something I would consider. I'd have to test this to see. But if I did decide to make that so, I would probably put a little bit of reminder text on there to say that it can stack if you have multiples of this in play. Second to last unit is Kuma, God of Destruction. Plus 1, he gives 1 action point, 1000 CP, which is pretty powerful. His activated ability states you knock out one of your units, and then your opponent knocks out one of their units. So it's a nice bit of continuous removal to have on the board, which can be pretty dangerous if your opponent doesn't deal with it. Final one is the dragon for the green color. It's Malfior the Devilish Drake. He doesn't give any action points, but he has 1000 CP and a rather interesting on-play ability. It states that you discard your hand, and then for the rest of this turn, you may play cards from your trash as though they were in your hand. So if you have a lot of action cards, this can be pretty useful to play late game to make use of all those action cards in your discard pile. It can be pretty useful. I'll have to see how it goes. But that about does it for the cards in green for Collided Worlds. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry again this took a while to get out, but I've got these all here for you. Definitely leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and comment below which one's your favorite and which cards you're looking forward to playing. On the left is where you can subscribe to the channel. On the right is a playlist to some of the other Collided Worlds videos I've made. I'll see you in whatever video I upload next, and take care.